Hold up, breaking motherfucking news. So we got another white male shooter in Boulder, Colorado.
There's police in Boulder, Colorado dealing with an active shooter situation at a grocery store. Just breaking over the past few minutes. We're going to get the latest now from Chief Breaking News correspondent Trace Gallagher in Los Angeles. Good evening, Trace.
Brett, good evening to you. That grocery store is called King Soopers, which also happens to be in a very busy mall and a business center on Table Mesa Lane in South Broadway. If you know the area, we have seen video of people who appear to be badly injured on the ground, both inside and outside the store. We do not know the severity of their injuries, but there are several ambulances on scene and medical helicopters also in the area. Witnesses say they were in the store and they could hear a series of pows, of smacks, gunshots over and over. Some of them ran out to the back and to a nearby fire station for safety. Now, we saw SWAT teams go into the store with barricades, you know, those handheld barricades they kind of walk in, and then a short time later, police escorted one person out of the store. He was not in handcuffs. He appeared to be an older gentleman. Then later, another person without a shirt was taken away in handcuffs and was then placed onto a medical gurney. We're not saying there were two shooters or suspects because police have given us very little information. And remember, if you don't know how many shooters might still be in the store, everybody who walks out automatically becomes a suspect. And in fact, we saw a large group of people who were in the store were eventually let out by police with their hands in the air, kind of like we have seen at many school shootings. The man who was cuffed, though, did appear to resemble the description witnesses gave police. And it's also notable that even though a potential suspect may have been taken away, SWAT teams are still up on the roof of the grocery store and the surrounding buildings, and more tactical teams are still arriving. But we did see some police officers on the ground take off their helmets, an indication that the situation does not appear as intense now as it was just a few minutes ago. And just for a little perspective, if you know the area, this is a couple of miles from the University of Colorado Boulder. It's also a few blocks from a very large high school. Neither of those places appear to have been affected. And again, we expect the police and authorities to brief on this, Brett, sometime in the next 45 minutes to an hour. Breaking news as it comes in. Brett.
Okay, Trace, we'll head back for any of that. We'll take that press conference. Our own Jeff Paul is on the way to that scene, and once he gets there, we'll take that as well.
Yes, right now there's a supermarket that's just been rushed by an active shooter. The shooter had what is described as a long gun. It could be a shotgun, a rifle, you name it, but something that's not a pistol. And he subsequently, from what stories are telling, he went into a grocery store and just started aimlessly shooting at people. This is the second white male within the course of 7 days that has done something like this. I especially found it funny when they interviewed one white male that was in the grocery store, and he said, "Nothing like this has ever happened here. You'd be surprised." Columbine, motherfucker.
The investigation into the high school massacre is slow-moving and dangerous. The two gunmen who went on the rampage booby-trapped the building and even themselves. All day long, investigators have searched the homes of both teenage killers. In one of them, police say they found bomb-making materials. Specially trained officers searching the school today found close to 30 explosive devices all around the building. Authorities have also revised the death toll, now saying 15 people were killed, including the two gunmen.
They took one man into custody. He had no shirt on. He had shorts on. Pay attention.
Now, we saw SWAT teams go into the store with barricades, you know, those handheld barricades they kind of walk in, and then a short time later, police escorted one person out of the store. He was not in handcuffs. He appeared to be an older gentleman. Then later, another person without a shirt was taken away in handcuffs and was then placed onto a medical gurney.
The same active shooter had fired upon the police, and they had to get tactical units out there. That's some big boys when you holding something down and there ain't no escape out.
That even though a potential suspect may have been taken away, SWAT teams are still up on the roof of the grocery store and the surrounding buildings, and more tactical teams are still arriving. But
that's what they call. And they come as a team. They led this man out unarmed. He was bleeding from the leg. That could be anything, maybe a return fire. But they let him out in handcuffs. And I have to say to myself, if this is a person of color, would they've been given the same treatment? We've all been seeing what's going down in Miami. But the active shooter, he took him into custody. The man who shot 8 Asian people, well, 6 Asian confirmed, and 2 other people, well, he was taken into custody. I'll give you updates as I get along. Later, guys.
This gentleman is telling us that he was in the store. First off, can you tell me who you are, sir?
Yeah, my name is Ryan Borowski. I live in Boulder.
Tell me what you were doing and what you experienced inside.
I just went in for a soda and some chips and, kind of changed my directions and heard, one loud bang. Thought somebody just dropped something, an employee or something, and then another. And then by the third one, everybody was running. We ran to the back of the store and, found our way into the employee back of house. Some people were kind of running into the pantry. Employees were telling people, this is the exit. We went out the cargo bay and jumped underneath the loading truck that was there and ran up the back of the hill. And now my car's still here, so that's the only reason I'm hanging out. But, yeah, it seemed like it happened at this entrance here on the east side, and I was closer to the west side. So I can't believe it's happening in Boulder, honestly.
And how many people were around? Was it a pretty busy time here inside the store when this happened?
We weren't tripping over each other, but we were single file. Just, somebody had their hand on my back. I had my hand on somebody's back, and we were just saying, go, 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 run. When we got to the back of the store, there were employees who still didn't know what was going on, and we just told them to run, But yeah, I'd say it was decently crowded, but thankfully not too crowded.
And when you were trying to make your way to safety, did you guys see anything involving the shooter, anyone injured, anything that was concerning to you?
After the second shot, I was already in an aisle, and I think it happened up by the cash registers. So yeah, I mean, I told my wife I wasn't close enough to be a hero or anything, so just at that point it was just run, get out of there, tell everybody to leave. And yeah, that's what we had to do.
Thank you for sharing your experience. I'm happy to see you're safe.
Thank you.
Yeah, and there you had it, Jim. A really scary experience in there for shoppers. Is busy time just trying to get to safety, and you heard him. He heard it, and he got to safety as quickly as possible, and we're happy to hear that his story is a good one.